do this wonderful video on what the bottom stitches and what they look like when they look bad. And it's probably many of you have seen how terrible the bottom stitches can look. But it's one place that we don't look at the bottom as often as we should. And so when we're done with the quilt, when you turn it over, how many of you are just like, oh my heck, what happened? It's so beautiful on top. And then you turn it over and the bottom looks horrible. Okay, let me talk to you about the one problem I see time and time again. For new beginners to old pros, we just forget this little step. And I can't tell you how many times I've done it myself, and it is making sure the thread is threaded correctly and pulled through the disc. So I took it out of between the disc to show you what it looks like when it is not flossed. Notice how terrible this looks, and it's all because I didn't take my threads right here in this hand and pull it between the disc. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like underneath. Now that I've just done that one little step, you're going to see a world of difference. So I'm just going to turn my machine on. That's the overspeed. Wow, what a change, night and day. Just one little step, misstep, can cause that kind of tension problems. Wow, let's discover what else we can do to fix our tension problems. So let's jump in and talk about railroad tracks and eyelashing. I talked to you about it what it looks like on top. The same thing kind of applies for the bottom. When you're seeing eyelashes and railroad tracking, these are the things that you need to look for and need to adjust to help fix the problem. Okay, when you have eyelashing underneath, the top thread is being pulled down to the opposite layer of the fabric, and it looks like your stitching is suddenly grown eyelashes or railroad tracks. So it looks just like it looks on top, but it's underneath. But what you need to adjust is different. We adjusted the bobbin mostly for when we had railroad tracks and eyelashes on top. Now we're going to adjust our tension knob to get rid of those railroad tracks and the eyelashing. And that's what you need to remember, is that when you have problems on top, most of the time it's the bobbin case. And then if you're having the problems underneath, most of the times you'll need to make adjustments with your tension knob. Now that doesn't mean that you don't check the bobbin case periodically and make adjustments on it if you are having problems on top. And it doesn't mean that we don't check when we're working with our bobbin case, our tension knob, and make some adjustments. Sometimes you need to do both. So don't be fixated that we're telling you that this is the way to do it. You're going to have to learn what works well for you and make your own adjustments. That's why we're trying to help you identify the problems so that you can make the calculated best improvements to your stitches. So if you have eyelashing and railroad tracks underneath, first thing that you're going to do is you are going to double check the threading path of your machine. Make sure it's flossed through the disc, make sure it's not wrapped around the check spring, not wrapped around this one right here, the thread guide right here, and that will be your first step. The next step, if it continues to happen and you're still getting a terrible look underneath, you're going to, if it's eyelashes and railroad tracks, you're going to start tightening the tension disc, okay? Now, remember the rule of thumb, we said to start out with number 1 and then increase the tension. That was kind of a rhyme. I made that up. You can use it anytime you want to. So, the rule of thumb, start out with number 1 and start increasing the tension, and you'll increase it in increments and keep double checking as you go, and eventually you will find that sweet spot to where the knot is buried between the layers and you're getting that nice even tension. Thanks for joining me on When the Thread Tension Looks Bad, looking at eyelashing and railroad tracks Join me for the next video when I talk to you about when both the tension on the top and the bottom, you're struggling with it, and how to achieve that nice balanced tension, that zen moment in your life when everything's going perfectly and everything is okay.